Welcome back to another class. In this class, we shall again continue from where we left off. Last class, we completed the discussion on line and staff organization. Today, we are going to start with functional organization, which is the next part in your syllabus. So now, we start with the first question, which is who is the exponent of functional organizational structure? Now, who came up with the conception or who came up with the idea of functional organization? Now, this type of questions may also come in your MCQ. So we need to know it. The answer to this question is F.W. Taylor. He was the first exponent of this functional organization. Of course, there are many others later on who defined what is functional organization, but he's the first one to come up with it. So F.W. Taylor is the right answer. Option A, F.W. Taylor. Next question. Which option fits best for functional organization? Now, with this question, we are going to learn what is functional organization. Okay, so let us see what is the right option. Answer, I will first give the answer and then discuss everything. The answer is D, all of the above. That means all these statements fit perfectly for what is functional organization. Now, if you look at option A, what does it say? Functions of the organization can be performed through different departments to achieve good results. Okay, now this is the primary reason why the organization is divided based on the functions, or organization is structured based on the functions, because functions of the organization can be performed through different departments. Means all the similar functions would be in the same department so that they can achieve good result. Okay, next again option B says functions of each department are entrusted to experts. Now who leads these departments? A department গুলোকে কে lead করে? There are departmental experts or functional experts who lead them. Okay, so each department has similar functions and each department is led by that functional expert, or the expert that is or the person who is expert at those functions. Now option C says the experts of each functional head are accountable to upper levels of management. That all departmental heads are actually responsible and accountable to upper levels of management. Okay, so what is functional organization? It is simply when the organization is structured based upon the functions that need to be performed, where similar functions are grouped together in different departments and each department is headed by the functional experts, and where these experts are themselves accountable to upper levels of management. Okay, so this is what is functional organization. So let us move ahead with the next question. Functional organization এর মধ্যে functional foremanship is a term and we are going to look at it at details. Now the question says what functional foremanship can be classified from which two angles? Functional foremanship কে কত ভাবে কোন দুটো অ্যাঙ্গেল দিয়ে দেখা যায়? Your options on the screen are option A, planning and organizing, option B, planning and operational, option C, knowledge and advice, option D, line organization and staff organization. কোন দুটো অ্যাঙ্গেল দিয়ে দেখা যায়? Now let's take one by one. First, let me give you the right answer. Right answer is option B, planning and operational. Why this is the right answer, we will come to that in the next slide. Okay, but over here why it is not planning or organizing? Because these are the important principle of management. Okay, based on it functional foremanship is not divided. In fact, organizing chapter under a functional foremanship আসছে. Knowledge and advice are not two different angles to divide. Okay, because they form a part of staff organization. Okay, now line organization and staff organization is meant for the whole set of organization, but এখানে প্রশ্নটা কিন্তু was related just to foremanship, that is factory. Okay, so the correct answer is planning and operational, option B. Okay, now In this slide, I will show you some things. Factory manager. We are talking about right now functional foremanship. Okay, what we can find in factory. Okay, now a factory manager, according to Henry Fayol, he has divided them into two basic parts. The two basic functions to be done under a factory manager. Okay, one is a planning function and another is production, which is other term for operation. ঠিক আছে, production কে অন্য ভাষায় operation ও বলা যেতে পারে অন্য terms এ. So Henry sorry Frederick Winslow Taylor, he said that factory manager ওর basically দুটো অ্যাঙ্গেল আছে পুরো কাজটাকে দেখার, একটা হলো প্ল্যানিং আর একটা হলো প্রোডাকশন। And planning can be itself divided into four different categories. He named them as route clerk, instruction card clerk, time and cost clerk, shop disciplinarian. And he divided the function of production under gang boss, speed boss, repair boss, and inspector. And he said that these are eight different categories where we need different instructors or different experts. And all these experts, what are they going to do? They are going to all guide the workers so that they can achieve the work. Okay. Again, Taylor says that when we look at the whole organization can be divided in this way based on their functions. Board of directors, under them would be managing director, under them would be general manager, under general manager would be eight different categories where we have purchase department, finance department, production department, R&D, which is research and development department, then advisory department, secretary department, personnel department, and marketing department. Okay, now what are these are different functions. Okay, purchase is a separate function, so we have purchase department for it. Finance is a different function, we have finance department for it. So overall আমি যদি ফ্যাক্টরির বাইরে গিয়ে overall organization এ দেখি, then Taylor says that this is somewhat what arrangements we can get. ঠিক আছে, at the top would be board of directors, under whom would be the managing director, then the general manager, who is actually having lot of departments under him. Okay, now this is the basic structure of functional organization. Now let us move to the next question. Which one is not a feature of functional organization? কোনটা functional organization এর feature নয়? We have option A, specialization by function, emphasis on sub goals, which is option B. Option C, pyramid type growth. Option D, broad span of management. What is specialization by function? মানে ফাংশন অনুযায়ী যখন আমাকে ডিভাইড করে দেওয়া হয়েছে ডিপার্টমেন্টটা, অফকোর্স একই ফাংশনকে বারবার করতে গেলে there would be specialization. The people in that department will become very good at performing that particular function, so that is in other terms specialization. So option E is actually a feature of functional organization. What about option B? Emphasis on sub-goals. Okay, why did we divide the whole organization based on their functions? What is the primary objective? The primary objective is to attain the goals. Each function এর একটা goal থাকে. Just for example, remember the previous slide. Purchase department এর কি goal আছে? To purchase. Okay, purchase at the optimum quantity with the least price. Okay. So production department এর কি হবে? Efficiency. So each department has their sub goals, and what do all those sub goals contribute towards? They contribute towards the achievement of the overall objective. Overall objective কে different small goals এ divide করে সেটাকে attain করাই কাজ হলো functional organization এর. Okay. Now what about option C, pyramid type growth? So we saw that option A and option B are actually a feature of functional organization. So the question is asking which one is not a feature. Okay, so let us look at option C, pyramid type growth. Pyramid type growth কেন বলছে? What does that mean? Now this is talking about the structure of the functional organization. How does that look? Okay, generally it looks this way. We have a bottom heavy and top narrow approach. That means it's like this, like a triangle. Less people at the top, then just below them there would be more people, below them there would be more, below them there would be even more. ঠিক আছে? Now this is how functional organization generally looks when we put them in a structure আর ওদের যখন নাম্বারটা নিয়ে আমরা বসাই। ঠিক আছে? So pyramid type growth is also a feature of or functional organization. Broad span of management. Now answer is broad span of management. Okay, this is not a feature. Usually under functional organization, the feature is limited span of management. That means not too many people can be controlled by one superior. So we have lot of levels, lot of superiors and lot of subordinate relationships. Okay, so span of management is limited. It is not broad. That's why the answer is broad span of management, option D, which is not a feature of functional organization. Let us move to the next question. Which one is not true for functional organization? কোন জিনিসটা functional organizationের জন্য সঠিক কথা নয়? Option A, high degree of specialization. Of course, we have seen in the previous discussion, in the previous question, that the functions are divided and people are performing that function over and over again. So what we have is a high degree of specialization. Specialization achieve করে functional organization. Okay, so of course this is true for functional organization. Professional achievement. What do we understand by professional achievement? Think for example a person who has a particular set of skills এবং ওকে ওই স্কিল অনুযায়ী ওকে একটা পার্টিকুলার ফাংশন করতে দিয়েছে, so that person knows how to do that and he has been given that particular job to do. So generally কি হয়, when the skills and the job matches, there's a high tendency of professional behavior and achievement on part of the employee. Okay, so this is also true for functional organization, because under functional organization we have professional commitments, professional achievements and professionalism. Okay, now what about disparity? Disparity কথার অর্থটা কি? It comes from the term which is more like complexity or confusion. ঠিক আছে? Now functional organization এ কিন্তু confusion নেই, there is actually clarity. So the answer for this question is disparity. Option C, disparity. Now ওখানে clarity কেন থাকে? Because similar functions are grouped together. People know যে এই কাজটা কোথায় আটকা পড়ে গেছে বা কোন জায়গাটাতে ইম্পর্টেন্টলি এই জায়গাটা ফোকাস করা দরকার, কোন এরিয়াটা বেশি ইম্পর্টেন্ট, কোন এরিয়াতে we need more manpower. It is all divided, so it is quite clear, and because the works are divided clearly, people will also have a clear idea of what the works are. Okay, so option C is disparity, which is not true for functional organization. What about option D? Option D, economy, which means that with the functional organization ফলে the functionings of the particular company becomes much more economical, which means যে efficiency increase হলে optimal utilization of resources হবে, optimal utilization of resources হলে কিন্তু আমার economy থাকবে, economy মানে সস্তায় কাজ হবে. Okay, let us move to the next question. Which one is not a disadvantage of functional organization? কোনটা not a disadvantage, মানে maximum গুলো কিন্তু এখানে disadvantage of functional organization. We have to figure out which is not a disadvantage of functional organization. So let us again deal with the first option. Option A, problem in determining ultimate responsibility. Does it really happen in functional organization? Yes, it does happen. মনে করে দেখো, in functional foremanship, when we talked about the factory manager, ওর আন্ডারে কারা কারা ছিল? প্ল্যানিং ফোরম্যান অ্যান্ড প্রোডাকশন ফোরম্যান, এবং ওদের আন্ডারে কিন্তু চারজন করেছিল. all of them are guiding the workers. Okay, so now think about it. If you are a worker, you have 8 different boss, so whom are you responsible to? কার কাছে you are going to report? Do you have any clarity? No. So that's why there is a problem in determining ultimate responsibility. To whom am I really responsible to? I don't know. Okay, that is the problem of functional organization. Now option B, delayed decision making process. Is it true for functional organization that there are delayed decision making? Yes, that is true. Know, because there are a lot of levels, and of course there is a limited span of management. তার মানে কি লিমিটেড স্প্যান অফ ম্যানেজমেন্ট মানে কি একজন সুপিরিয়র আন্ডারে খুব কম মানুষ থাকতে পারবে, তো বাকি মানুষরা কোথায় যাবে? ওদেরকে অন্যদের আন্ডারে দিয়ে দাও। এই করে করে তো আমার লেভেলস বেড়ে যাচ্ছে, এবং যতই আমার লেভেলস বেড়ে যাবে, the number of levels increases, the decision making process is actually slowed down. ঠিক আছে, এই ডিসিশনটা নিল, সেটা ওকে কনভে করবে, কনভে করার পরে এটাকে আবার ফার্দার কনভে করবে, তো obviously it is going to take a lot of time. The longer the channel, the delayed the decision making process. Okay, so even delayed decision making process is a disadvantage of functional organization. What about line and staff organization? Now, of course, functional organization includes line and staff organization, but then along with it, it includes the word conflict. Now, why are we talking about conflict? Wherever you have line and staff organization together, you will have line and staff conflict. Who are line people? Line organization এ কারা থাকে? They are basically the main performers, the experienced ones who are doing the job over and over again. Who are the staff? They are the advisors. Now, of course, if you remember our discussion on line of staff organization, there are chances where staff organization, even though they are advising it in the right way, they might not have the practical experience. So in that situation, line is going to say, come on, you don't know what we have to go through, you don't know how to do the work, why are you suggesting? Staff will say, the staff officers or advisors would say, okay, you do not know the things to do. Then লাইন যদি ওই কাজটা স্টাফ অর্গানাইজেশনের এক্সপার্টসদের অনুযায়ী করে, and then things go wrong, who is to take the responsibility? Staff will say লাইনের মানুষরা কাজ করতে জানে না, লাইন will say staff ঠিকঠাক সাজেশন দিতে জানে না. So of course there are a lot of conflicts that comes along with line and staff organization. So even that becomes a disadvantage for functional organization. Then the last option is our right answer. Option D, inapplicability in large organization. In fact, functional organization is only applicable in large organization. It is not applicable in small organization. Okay, so this statement is not a disadvantage. This is actually the advantage of functional organization. Okay, it is applicable in large organization. Let us move ahead with the next question. Now the different topic starts, which is departmentation, which is another part of your syllabus. Okay, let us read this statement and see what does this question ask us. The grouping of activities of an organization into a number of separate units of day-to-day operation and placing each unit under a more or less autonomous administrative head is called কি হবে? Look at the options. Is it organization? Is it functional organization? Is it divisionalization? Or is it decentralization? Okay, now look at this. What does it talk about? Grouping of activities মানে যে কাজগুলো আছে সেগুলো গ্রুপ করা হচ্ছে into number of separate units, different unit of day to day operation. প্রত্যেক দিনের কাজের জন্য separate unit করা হয়েছে, আর প্রত্যেকটা ইউনিটকে আন্ডার আ মোর অর লেস অটোনোমাস অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেটিভ হেড। এটাকে কি বলে? The answer is C, divisionalisation. Okay, now this is the other term for departmentation. Divisionalisation is the other term for departmentation. Okay, so the correct answer is departmentation. Why not decentralization? Decentralization, you give the power, but you do not make the other person become an administrative head. Okay, you give some responsibilities, but doesn't mean you create a separate unit for day-to-day operation. Not necessarily. Okay, so the answer is divisionalization. Let us move to the next question. Breakup of functions into basic activities at the top level is called option A departmentation, option B primary departmentation, option C secondary departmentation, option D all of the above. ভালো করে কোশ্চেনটা দেখো। Breakup of functions কি বলছে? Breakup of functions into basic activities at the top level is called, মানে টপ লেভেলে যে ফাংশন গুলো আছে সেগুলোকে ডিফারেন্ট বেসিক অ্যাক্টিভিটিসে ডিভাইড করে দেওয়াটাকে কি বলা হয়? ইজ ইট ডিপার্টমেন্টেশন, is it primary departmentation, is it secondary departmentation, or is it all? The answer is যেহেতু এটা টপ লেভেলে হচ্ছে, that's why the answer is primary departmentation. ঠিক আছে, যদি টপ লেভেলের জায়গায় অর্গানাইজেশন থাকতো then departmentation, যদি টপ লেভেলের জায়গায় থাকতো লোয়ার লেভেল তাহলে secondary departmentation হয়ে যেত। Okay, but the answer over here, because specifically it is mentioned top level management, that's why the answer is going to be primary departmentation. Okay, which option from below justifies the need for departmentation? ডিপার্টমেন্টেশনের কি দরকার এবং এই অপশনগুলো থেকে কোনটা জাস্টিফাই করছে? What is the first option? Filling of autonomy. Option B, development of management. Option C, facility in appraisal. Option D, all of the above. Answer is option D, all of the above. Why is it so? Let us start discussing each of them. Okay, filling of autonomy, যখন একটা departmentation করা হচ্ছে, of course we have different basic activities to be performed by each unit which are called department, and each unit are given certain amount of autonomy. Okay, they are given the freedom and the independence to take different decisions and work accordingly. So now what happens is, because of this, there is a sense of autonomy. Okay, I as a department can do what I want to do, and that increases the sense of belongingness amongst the people in that department. That increases the sense of that improves the performance because of there is a feeling of autonomy. Okay, so this is one of the reason why departmentation is done. Secondly, development of management. How management develops? Simple. You see, ওদেরকে autonomy দেওয়া হয়. The managers are also in a position to take different independent decisions. Now, if their decisions end up becoming correct, it gives them both experience, at the same time it gives them a good reward. What is the reward? The thing is that they become highlighted in the top level management, and now because that person is doing a good job, there increases a scope of promotion. Okay, so that's how every person has a particular scope of development, and that happens because of departmentation. So even development of management is also necessary. Okay, for departmentation. Next, facility in appraisal. Now each different functions have been categorized. Okay, each different unit has their own activities to do. So in that way আমরা বলতে পারি যে now all the works are divided systematically, and when they are divided systematically we know যে এই কাজটা হলে কার কাছে ক্রেডিট যাওয়া দরকার, এই কাজটা না হলে we will be able to identify where the problem is. So whole appraisal process actually becomes easier because the whole work is systematically divided. Okay, and that is why also we need departmentation. Now that's why option D is the right option for this question. Let us move ahead with the next question. Which among the following is not a basis of departmentation? Okay, কোন বেসিসে আগে আমরা কি দেখেছি, আমরা need for departmentation দেখেছি, এখন আমরা basis of departmentation মানে কি, এটার উপর আধার করে আমি ডিপার্টমেন্টেশন করতে পারি। ঠিক আছে, এবার you have four options. Option A specialization, option B product function, option C geography customers, option D marketing channel. The answer is option A specialization. অপশন এ স্পেশালাইজেশন, স্পেশালাইজেশনের উপরে কিন্তু বেস করে ডিপার্টমেন্টেশন হয় না। স্পেশালাইজেশন ইজ আ রেজাল্ট অফ ডিপার্টমেন্টেশন, ইট ইজ নট দ্য কজ ফর ডিপার্টমেন্টেশন। ঠিক আছে, নাও অপশন বি প্রোডাক্ট অ্যান্ড ফাংশন, দুটো ডিফারেন্ট অপশনস দেওয়া আছে, দুটো ডিফারেন্ট বেসিস। ইয়েস, there can be departments based on product, there can be department based on function. আমরা functional departmentation already দেখেছিলাম একটা flow chart এ, where board of directors were there, then managing director, then general manager. Under the general manager we had different departments based on their function, like production department, then finance department, then marketing department, all were based on the function. But at the same time we can have departmentation based on product. Think for example Hindustan Unilever, it is such a big company. Okay, it can have a separate department dedicated only to toothpaste. It can have another department specifically dedicated to soaps. It can have another department dedicated just for any other product, because its product lineup is so huge যে ওদের আলাদা একটা ডিপার্টমেন্টই দরকার হয়। Okay, so based on product and function there can be departmentation. Again, departmentation can also be based on geography and customers. Depending on the different localities, eastern region, then northern region, northeastern region, southern region, western region, so these regions can itself become a huge department. Okay, and based on customers, where do I have my customers, or what categories of customers do I have? Do I have old age people? Do I have XL customers? Do I have young toddlers as my customers? Do I have ladies as my customers? Okay, or do I have, like, departments can be formed based upon the customers as well. What about marketing channel and process? Now, this is not so prevalent, but again, departmentation is also done based on the marketing channels. Whatever channels are there, how much powerful they are, how much strong they are, and how much their need is for the organization. Based on that, marketing channel অনুযায়ীও কিন্তু বিভিন্ন departmentation করা যেতে পারে। What about process? Process, basically this kind of departmentation is seen in factory level or manufacturing concern. সেখানে কি হয়, there the similar processes are grouped under one department, because the processes are huge in number, মানে অনেক কটা একই প্রসেস করতে হবে, so better divide them into a separate department, এইভাবে কিন্তু চলে। So the answer for this question is A, specialization, because that is not the reason why departmentation is done, but that is the result of departmentation. Okay, and others are the reason why departmentation is done. Which one is not a principle of departmentation? কোনটা departmentation এর principle নয়? First, principle of objective. Second, principle of comprehensive departmentation. Third, principle of interdepartmental coordination. Fourth, principle of lower level management control. Now, principle of objective কি বলছে? It is to attain the objectives of the organization. Yes, that is of course a principle of departmentation. নাহলে departmentation করছি কেন if we are not supposed to attain the objective of the organization? So option A is actually an principle of departmentation. Option B, what about option B? Principle of comprehensive departmentation. Now what does this word comprehensive departmentation mean? সোজা কথা একদম পাতি ভাষায় বলবো, this is a simplified way of understanding the whole structure of the organization. The organization has a lot of works, lot of people. If you just put them together, it is going to be a quite complex thing to understand what who is supposed to do and how things can be done at all. Okay, so when departmentation is done, it helps us to comprehend the whole process and the whole structure of how the organization is supposed to move. So of course, this is also a important principle of departmentation. Option C, principle of interdepartmental coordination. Now, departmentation is also done so that each department can synchronize its work with the others. Coordination is also one of their primary aim why they have done the departmentation. So that is the reason why even principle of interdepartmental coordination fits perfectly for principle of departmentation. So the answer to this question is option D, principle of lower level management control. The lower level management does not control the whole departmentation process. In fact, the control flows from top level management. Okay, so this is the only principle that is not true for departmentation. Which departmentation principle deals with concentrating focus and effort? ভালো করে দেখো, এখানে প্রশ্নটা কি জিজ্ঞেস করছে, which departmentation principle deals with concentrating focus and effort? কোনটা ফোকাস করতে এবং এফর্ট গুলোকে একটা জায়গায় কনসেন্ট্রেট করতে সাহায্য করছে, which one? Principle of specialization কি? No. Why no? Because principle of specialization simply বলছে যে departmentation এর ফলে there are specialized activities that takes place and people end up becoming specialized. That's a result, as we already discussed in the previous question. What about option B, principle of attention to key areas? Now this is the right option. Principle of attention to key areas. Why departmentation key করছে? Departmentation also facilitates one very important factor. এটা এমন করে না যে we have 10 departments, so 10 departments will require equal number of people and equal number of resources. No, not necessary. Some departments may be less important, some departments may be very important. So যেটা খুবই important, there we need to concentrate more of our effort, there we need to concentrate more of our focus. So departmentation করার ফলে we get to identify what are the not so important areas and what are very important areas. Okay, and that helps us to focus our attention to such key, that means key means key, এটা important, it is another word for important. Okay, so attention to important areas. So this is the right option. So principle of best utilization of resources, of course, uh, that is a principle of departmentation that helps in optimum utilization of resources, but that does not mean that we focus our effort and strength in a particular important area. ঠিক আছে? Principle of top level control, we already discussed in the previous question that in departmentation the whole control flows from the top level management. So this is where we finish our discussion for today. Thank you so much.